What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for joining the first podcast on my channel, actually. So I need to forewarn everyone, just bear with me a bit on this podcast. We were figuring out some of the technical ins and outs as far as the recording, the actual the conversation and all that good stuff. So there is a segment that totally went missing out of the middle because the recording stopped in the middle of our conversation and I didn't catch it until, we were 20-25 minutes past that point. So there is a segment missing out of the middle. So everyone bear with me. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me on the podcast here. Hope y'all get some great info out of this from me and my boy Sean Mooney. We've been friends for a couple years. He's a fellow NPC competitor, competes in classic physique and men's physique as well. He lives over in Cali on the West Coast. So he's out there, man. Like I said, we've been friends for a few years. We were coached through the same coach. So we got to meet each other through that. And we've stayed connected and all that through socials from day one, man. So consider him a great friend, man, and we had a great conversation here. Let's see. What's up, bro?
Give me a second.
All right, you're good. Do your thing.
Take my laptop out of the room.
Let's see. There we go.
What are you doing? Just eating?
Hell yeah, man. What you been up to?
I trained legs for the first time in hella days today.
I know that fucking hurt.
Did I tell you I stopped training legs for like 6 months?
No. What was the reason for that?
Trying to grow my upper body.
Got you.
I'll explain it all right now. Let me get set up. I just had it logged in my room. So go ahead and eat your meal. Give me a sec.
All right. Yeah, you're good.
And at some point here, I'm just gonna set this outside, but check this out. Look, I got someone coming over to grab all this.
Oh shit. Nice.
Gotta pay rent, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. Times are tough out here.
Dude. Hey, when it's that cheap from China, bro.
Yeah. Got to take advantage.
Bro, mostly I just sell. I'm gonna be honest. Mostly I just sell tirzepatide, though.
Dude, people love the GLPs, man.
Bro.
It's been going like rapid fire around my area. Just like the older generation is catching on to like Retta and Turs and all that.
Only people that I find that want Retta are bodybuilders.
Yeah, I've noticed
like
that.
The general population, they're like, they never even heard of it, right? So
yeah, they're still on the semaglutide
like,
kick.
What they want, like, give me tirzepatide. Well, let me plug this in.
All right. Yes, sir.
In, bro. Let's see. One.
Oh shit.
That fucked me up, huh?
Yeah, what happened? You might just have to reselect the video option.
Can you see it?
It's loading. There you go.
Hey, what
Nice.
are you drinking?
Dude, I got these freaking Arizona green tea, like instant. You just mix it in the water, little stick packs. Gas, man. It's so good.
Dude, I thought that was a whole bottle of apple cider vinegar.
Oh, God, dude.
I
During
was like,
prep, I'm
bro,
not
what
going
are
to
you
lie. I was
doing?
drinking that shit this last prep.
Same, same, bro.
As soon as those orals
You,
went in, man, I had to. I was like, man, this digestion went to hell from that.
hey, let me ask you something. Are we recording it?
Yeah, yeah. I started recording, but if I need to clip anything or whatever,
Okay.
I'll clip it out.
Yeah, clip this out. Okay,
Dude,
good. Thank you.
I think he just forgot about me, to be honest with you. So he just kind of never changed my food, and I was just killing myself, dude. I was doing like 2 hours of cardio some days, and he would just be like, "All right, keep going, keep going, keep going," and I was like, I got shredded. I'm not gonna lie.
He didn't refeed you on.
No, no refeeds, nothing. Straight to the grave, dog.
Hold on, let me fix this lighting here. Yeah, that was my experience, and lighting here. Here so we can fix this shit. Um, bro, that's better, huh?
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Okay. Yeah, dude, he prepped me like my metabolism's really high, so I feel like initially it rolled really smoothly, and we started like 20 weeks out.
Yeah,
I started Retta from the rip, right? So by the time I got to like 8 weeks out, like I was on like 7 milligrams at that point. I was still eating like 3,000 calories, but I was fucking starving, bro.
yeah.
Depleted, flat. I had to beg him for a refeed around 4 weeks out, and it like because my weight just plateaued. Like I just was not losing
That's when you know it's
it.
time for
Like
one. When you hit a sticking point, like a flatness where you can't move anymore, you got to refeed.
doing in the fatigue, like I would sit down to eat, and like I would sit there and I'd eat the meal, and I'd have to like psych myself up to get out of the chair.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
I
that,
was like,
dude.
this can't be normal, dude.
That's what I was thinking, and I was going to work and working like doing like pipeline, so that's like super manual labor because we're doing like city water lines and shit like that. And so, dude, I was prepping doing that shit and then doing 2 hours of cardio on top of that, and he had me on like 2,200 calories. Mind you, I'm 6'1",
You're
six
fucking like
two,
6'2",
and
right?
like 245, 250 on stage. So when I look back at my pictures at like 8 weeks, I was peeled, like super peeled, ready to roll. I would have stepped on stage like that and been so happy. And then we basically just kept going and going until I literally lost tissue. I was shredded, but I lost muscle for sure when I look
And
back.
do you think I've heard some people say that like with Retta specifically, but like all GLPs, and I think Retta specifically because of the glucagon agonism, but they are catabolic
I've
in
heard
some
that.
people. Yeah, I don't have like another prep where I didn't use one to compare to, so I can't really like I did a prep in 2023 and I pulled out like 8 weeks out because I did a binge eating,
Ah.
and I just was like not I was not ready. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it would be like this. But I got refeeds even then. I just noticed, bro. I was telling my wife this, dude. When you get that flat, like your training is just suffering so much that it's like disheartening, bro. You're always flat. You're never getting a pump. You're just going through the motions.
Yep.
But when you get those refeeds, bro, it carries you for like half the week,
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
And you
And
can get those vicious pumps in your vascular, you know?
yeah, dude, I've noticed, man, like this last prep, I prepped myself, and I wanted to do it and see it through just to like know I could do it and have the discipline. And dude, I will say focusing more on making sure that like training performance was still high. Um, Strength was like staying. Obviously you got to, it's going to take somewhat of a hit because you're losing so much weight and you're losing all that water and stuff. So obviously you're not going to have the same levers, but keeping in mind like performance to some extent as far as strength, like total strength, and maybe like understanding that you won't be able to do the same amount of volume, but like at least that top set should be roughly about the same, as far as reps and
And
strength
weight for
wise.
sure, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and being mindful of that and refeeding when I noticed performance was really diving, that made a huge difference this last prep of just like holding on to a lot more size. I feel like for
When
sure.
you coached yourself and you refed yourself, I remember you posting the food you ate sometimes, and did you always just eat same food that you were eating, just more carbs essentially, or did you go for the burger and fries or sushi or
So
whatever?
I would do if I did any bullshit, it would normally be like pancakes, waffles, like easy digestible carbs, stuff like that. I never really did like any of the fat loading, and then it was let's see twice throughout the prep. Um, the first prep I found out I was actually allergic to beef, so I cut that out totally. So when I did any like junk food refeed, I did two of them, and I did Wendy's classic chicken sandwiches. I did like two of those, two of their littler chicken sandwiches, two large fries, and then a regular like soda. And I would do that. I did that twice through the prep, and that got things rolling again, for sure. I did that when I felt like I plateaued.
Dude, I just watched my best friend. He missed his card by one placing national a couple weeks ago,
Uh huh.
men's physique. I just watched him prep for that show in like 8 weeks,
Is this the
and
guy that you
his
train with sometimes? The big men's physique guy, real thick guy.
yeah, dude, his upper half is looks like bodybuilder esque, you
Yeah,
know.
he's freaking. He's a
Um,
tank, dude.
Dude, he's like 5'6.5", so
That's
it's
dope.
just really dense, you know. But like I just like watched his prep, and he was having five guys and crumble every Sunday until like 2 weeks out, and I was like, it just works so well for him. But I think that, and I've told him this, bro. I'm like, like I know you think that works really well, and it does, obviously, but I think that any strategy you used is going to work well because
Yeah,
it'll finish the,
he's got
you
the
know what I mean?
genetics, man, for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
We've been training seriously and using PEDs for about the same amount of time. And his progress and mine, it's like if you put him on a graph, dude, his just jumps right up, and mine's like creeping, you know?
yeah, yeah, dude. I've noticed that, man. Some of these guys, dude, like, dude, even like Andrew, man. Andrew just fucking exploded so fast, man. Like, it's crazy how fast he just mutated and like literally to a pro card in like 2 years, like or less,
I was
really.
so surprised, dude.
Dude, I'm
Like,
like, man, these guys got the genes to just freaking get, and they grow and stay so lean, man. I'm like, fuck, how do y'all do this?
yeah, I noticed, like, I noticed, so you're how many weeks post show now? Like 12,
Let's
maybe
see.
16?
It's about this week. The 8th of this week will be 8 weeks, or
Oh,
the 8th of
only
this
8?
month. Yes, it'll be eight weeks
Okay.
post show.
So, I mean, not to like critique you or anything, but you kind of get fluffier too in your off seasons, right? Like,
Yeah, dude. I get shredded easy, but I get lean really easy, but I get fat really easy. I've noticed. Like I get like this last show, I didn't really hammer down the diet until like 4 weeks out, and I just like transformed into the show. Like in 4 weeks, I was peeled, glutes, everything ready, lower back was there, and then immediately, like as soon as I started ramping food up a little bit, I got fluffy. Granted, I wasn't on any gear, so we immediately pulled the gear out. After the show, I just went straight TRT. So, but that's going back in this week. So hopefully, I harden up a bit.
why? Why did you do that? If you don't mind me asking, you didn't do the whole,
So I
you know,
initially started rebounding. So I started rebounding with like really low gear. I had 400 tests and I had 140 MPP, and then no, that was it. I just had that in, and then 8 IUs of GH. So I was doing that for about 3 weeks after the show, and then I got with Andrew, and he was like, "Dude, let's just do a true TRT, and then get you really cleaned out, get ready for like a really hard push off season." And he immediately ramped the food up and all that. So we did all that while I was just on TRT, which I totally understand his theory. He was like, "I'd rather you get fluffy and preserve all the tissue you've already built instead of
yeah,
keeping food low and letting you stay he knows I'm still going to be training and stuff. He's like, so we got to be mindful of that. Um, so I bought into it, man. I was like, whatever. If you think this is a good plan, let's try it. Because I was kind of doing the opposite. I was like keeping food low. I had basically reversed and just kept my calories right where I had them like 2 weeks before the show. So I was on like 3,500 calories roughly, and then it got with him and it went up to about 5,500. Um,
Mm,
and then 6,500 on like training days.
mm.
Yeah.
What's the highest you've ever pushed it to?
The highest I've gotten, so that was before this last prep. I got it up to, I think I was at like 5K calories a day roughly. But I was doing way low protein, man. That's when I was getting on that sugar kick, like the sugar fasting and stuff.
I was gonna ask you about that.
It
I've done it
actually,
too.
dude, it actually helped me get my like my metabolism way cranked, and I was able to like, dude, I could inhale so much food doing that. And then I just would kind of slowly reincorporate the protein back in. Um, when I would feel like I was hitting like kind of like a bottleneck on being able to eat, I would do those sugar fasts essentially, and then I would just slowly reincorporate protein over like after I fasted for 3 days.
Which okay, you do. Would you do the true sugar fast, or would you do the one with like what is it, 80 grams of protein or whatever,
I was
or go with
honestly,
full
I was
carbs?
doing, it was kind of weird. So I was seeing what I could get away with. I was putting like bagels in the plan. And I would do like a lot of like simple sugars, like actual table sugar in my juice, orange juice, apple juice, um, lots of jams and jellies, tons of honey, man. I was doing a lot of honey on stuff. Regular soda, regular Monster energy drinks. So
I'm
I
on
was like
regular
kind of
soda right
mixing
now.
in just I was just basically keeping it all carbohydrates
And no protein. No
and no
protein.
protein, man. I would do that for three days, and then I noticed any further than that, you start getting actually flat. You start flattening out like from the nitrogen
Really?
loss. Yeah,
That's an interesting. Okay, that's cool to know. I utilized the sugar fast in my rebound when I would be a dipshit and like eat off plan and get all inflamed, you know?
yeah,
And I would freak out, and be like, like holding water, all this shit. I'd do 1 day of sugar fasting, and I would do like same shit. I'd do like a lot of fruit juice, soda, candy, and I would do like a starch at night. I would do white rice with a bunch of soy sauce just to get something savory, you know?
yeah. You almost
And
get tired of the sweets.
you do.
Yeah,
My boy that we were just talking about, Dom,
yeah.
uh, he tried it too, and he's like that shit's way harder than like any other diet. He said he just wanted to eat meat, you know.
Yeah, dude, at like
But
3 days in, you're like, dude, I just want some chicken breast. Like, I don't care what it is.
want something
Just,
savory, right?
yeah.
That's why I do the white rice with the soy sauce. But every time I did it, dude, it would produce the most insane look the next day. Like all the inflammation gone. I'd be so full, like so dry.
Yep.
Man, I've been
Dude,
thinking about it more recently. Maybe
going,
use that. You use that as like a repeat strategy in a prep or like a cut or something.
yeah, dude. Dude, going into the show, this last show, that's what I did. I did like no protein the day before, really. And then, shit, the day of, yeah, it was literally no protein. I was eating like jelly out of like with a spoon out of the jar backstage, like jelly, honey, salt, rice cakes. Dude, I bought this. What is it? Those angel food cake. Do you know what that is? It's like a zero fat
I've
cake.
heard it.
It's
No,
really,
really.
it's really fluffy and light. Dude, I was just eating like handfuls of that shit backstage. It was just the cake with no like icing or anything on it. So it's literally just like the sponge cake itself. And dude, it's no fat in it. It's just straight carbs. So I was eating some weird shit, man, going into this last show because it was like the easiest stuff to get down. Baby rice, I was doing that going into the like peak week.
Dude, that's the nastiest shit in the fucking world, man.
Dude, the texture is
It
terrible.
tastes
It's like so
it's
weird.
so.
Yeah,
I had my first coach wore my baby rice, and
yeah.
it's just cream of rice too, right? Like it's just a different texture, but it's the same thing essentially.
Yeah, it's like cream of rice, and they almost blend it down to like instant mashed potato texture. So it's like,
Yeah, it's really fluffy.
yeah, it's weird. I like it though.
It,
It's interesting and it's easy to get down, but it's a funky texture.
what do you use cream of rice at
I
all
I
with your
do
plants or?
on occasion, but I get those orange boxes and they have so much iron. So I try to only do that like
Yeah,
sporadically, dude. To be honest with you.
you've never done like the Pride Foods or Elevate or anything?
I need to try it to be
It's
honest.
expensive.
Yeah,
I
it's a
got
little
some
out of my
Pride
price
Foods right
range, dude.
here. It's expensive, dude. Yeah. I got some Elevate on the way. Dude, it's taken like over a week and they haven't even shipped it. But I got the Pride Foods right here,
Yeah,
and it mean you can splurge for it. The flavor, I have the blueberry muffin one. It's amazing.
nice. I need to
Really
check
good.
them out. I've seen a lot of people use them and they're like more, I guess they're not as bodybuilder of a brand. They're more of like a Whole Foods kind of brand, I guess you would say, right? Or am I wrong on that?
I don't know. I've heard about them. I think John Jewett maybe,
Yeah, that's who I've seen
maybe
using them.
someone in the bodybuilding space. Yeah,
Got you.
it's really good. The consistency and the texture is quite different though. It's more like a grits type of, sandy, or it's not as finely ground, right,
Yeah,
as the orange box. But personally, I really love the classic orange creamer rice.
dude, you can't beat it,
But it's
man.
got the, yeah, you can't just be shoveling that shit back though. If you're a bodybuilder, you're gonna run into some issues with all that iron.
Yeah, your hematocrit would probably be through the roof at some point.
Dude, yeah. Hey, okay, so hematocrit. You ever dump blood or donate?
I did actually when I first got started. So after I, when I first got started, I started out on a SARM cycle like an idiot.
Same,
I ran into like Ryan Russo and freaking
same.
Tony Huge. So I was running like Rad and MK. So that actually fucked me up so bad. It made me get on like the boards and like actually educate myself. Then I found like Vigorous Steve on YouTube, all these guys. So I got like super health conscious when I first started gear. Like I was on like 200 milligrams of tests and like already running BP meds and freaking running ezetimibe and stuff, like all this stuff. Just
Whoa,
I went balls deep on like the health side. So I actually my first cycle I dumped blood like twice because I was like, oh god, my blood pressure is a little high. It's probably hematocrit. I need to donate. Like, but I haven't donated since then, and it's been good, man.
dude. Yeah, I never have hematocrit issues. I never have high red blood cell counts. Like I was just look after you sent me your blood work. I started going back through mine because I wanted to check out my GFRs, and I was looking at my like red blood cell counts and hematocrit. Dude, the highest my hematocrit's ever been is 52.
Oh, dude, you're good. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
golden,
but
man.
and my clotting factors are always good. I mean, that's not to say that like all my labs are always golden because I mean I've had hepatitis
Yeah,
from shooting dope in prison, right? So I always kind of trip on my liver values. But dude, to be honest, they say like training skews ALT and AST and stuff.
yeah,
But you know what I've found, like anecdotally, really fuck hammers mine is pushing food and insulin.
dude, I could totally see that
Really does.
because I actually feel, you know, that shitty feeling that you get on like orals where you're just like almost lethargic and drowsy, and like
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting energy from them anymore. They're just like hurting your liver so much you're just taxed. I get that way when I start pushing food really hard, and like if I throw Lantus in play for a couple days, I've noticed I get really inflamed, and it's weird, man. I almost do better in a low insulin state. Like I can push the food, but I can't push insulin, or I can use some insulin, but I got to be using lower food or be like in a deficit. It's weird, man.
It's interesting. I think it's like the accumulated inflammation from the insulin. And here's my theory, right? And this is probably going to tie into the whole thing with Retta. Is I think it's forcing when you're using like Lantus, let's say, just hammering Lantus like every day, say, or like at all your training days, and you're just pushing carbs, like you're just forcing your body to hold everything. and at a certain part, you're going to start developing a fatty liver because
Yeah.
your liver's storing glycogen too, right?
Yeah.
And if you're just forcing it to hold like more glycogen than it can, I would assume that's going to like just spill over into liver fat, and that's probably where my liver enzymes got, because they're always like 75, but when I'm pushing the insulin, they're like 150.
Yeah.
So they were around there last year when I was on, it was like 800 tests, 800 EQ when Colton was coaching me. And I went on my honeymoon in Italy, 10 days. I didn't, I probably ate 100 grams of protein a day, maybe, the whole time I was gone, and just ate whenever I wanted. No insulin, no drugs, nothing, right? And I came back, and for the first time in like my whole bodybuilding career of doing blood work, I had liver enzymes that were in range. And I was like, bro, like the only thing that's different besides the training is the food not being pushed, the insulin not being present. And I was just amazed. But I don't chalk that up to really the training so much, because I have done labs where I've abstained from training for like up to 5 days. And the levels come down, but not like all that much, you know?
Yeah. So they'll still be elevated, but you'll see them decrease a bit from taking that break. But you noticed an
Right. But
actual
I've never
drastic
actually,
difference when you change the food up.
right, with when I'm like dropping the carbs by however much, I didn't track obviously, but that's my theory anyway. So it's kind of interesting, but I think that's why also Retta is just so useful in off season, because it just keeps your liver like burning through that glycogen, so you
Yeah.
don't really have a chance to accumulate a fatty liver strip on your liver.
Yeah. I've
You know,
noticed, man, when I'm hammering food, it comes to a point like you won't even say like digestion's good and everything, but you almost will wake up the next day and it's like you're not hungry whatsoever for anything. And I've noticed that happens a lot more to me when I don't have Reddit in play. It's interesting. Like we were talking about the other day when we were
weird,
texting back and forth.
super weird.
I took it out
And
like probably 2 weeks ago. I told Andrew, I was like, hey, the food's getting kind of high. So I want to pull it out and just see if that helps me get it down a little easier.
that's
And
why I did it too.
dude, it didn't help really. It was like I started feeling bottlenecked every night, and then I put it back in at the microdose that we were talking about, and it seems to be like everything's moving along a lot better. Weight came down a little bit, inflammation and the water came off. So I think just the food gets too high. You almost, like you said, the liver's not actually able to dump that glycogen off. You're holding all that extra glycogen in water because of the insulin and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's interesting how all that works. You almost bottleneck yourself with just being so full.
I think too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably started Retta in prep, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. I started
I think
it.
you wrote it out.
I want to
You
say I
wrote it
started
out.
it right at the beginning. I started like 500 micrograms and then tapered it up to 2 milligrams by the end of the prep. And yeah, I kept
Oh,
it in
that's
the
all I
whole
got
time.
to do. I got to 7 milligrams.
Dude, I couldn't do it because like, man, it would
Back you
the
up.
gastric emptying, dude. It would just slow down too much.
I had that same issue, and I'm gonna be honest, bro. I would have taken it higher, but I just would get these. So my bowel movements wouldn't be frequent, like in prep when the dose was higher.
Yeah,
And let's say like I do a pin Monday, right, and I wouldn't have a bowel movement till Wednesday. And even though I'm doing all my cardio and I'm in a deficit, 15,000 steps a day, all that shit, like my weight would creep up because I'm not taking a shit.
yeah,
So and I'd have a good shit before my next pin, and my weight would I'd have this massive drop, right? And it was just so volatile that I was scared to take the Retta higher, but I was so hungry, bro, that I kept it in. But at that point, it wasn't doing a fucking thing for my hunger.
yeah,
It was probably hurting me way more than it was helping me. I should have just suffered. Like that's a huge lesson learned. What I really should have done is put it in like at 80 pounds, 20.
yeah, yeah.
Because that
Or
hunger is long for.
I've been thinking this the opposite too. I might try this next prep. And my only reason being is because when orals come in, they almost have a totally, they amplify the hunger blunting effect times 10 themselves. So, and I noticed too, man, it almost feels like they get processed slower because the red is in. This is my bro science here. But I noticed, man, even when I was like, I dropped the protein way low, um, when the oral started creeping up, my obliques started getting wider. Like I normally have a pretty decently small waist, but the past two shows, the two times that I've been on stage, I've not been happy with how wide that my waist looks. And I'm like, how can I be full blown off season and have a smaller waist than I actually do on show day when I'm shredded? Just width wise, like it's small when I'm standing to the side, like on my side poses, it's small. But when you look at me front on, it looks a little bit wider on these show days, and I've chalked it up to being just digestion's slowed down, and you're dehydrated, obviously. And then when the orals are in there too, that's causing that liver stress as well. And I think that's making it
Yeah,
just widen out.
yeah, you're just like inflamed, like your whole intestinal tract and everything is just.
Yeah.
All right,
You
that was
back?
vicious,
Nice,
bro.
nice.
I I sit down to pee. Just old habits from prison, I guess. Like being in a cell, you don't want to stand up and piss. It splatters and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so I just got up off the toilet, and since I haven't trained legs in forever, bro, I was like,
Dude, hang
that's
on
crazy,
one
dude.
second. I'm gonna mess the screen up here. Um, there we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, dude. I totally remember those days. That sucks. Freaking having to do that shit. Now at least you got the option. You're like, all right, I want to do
Bro,
this.
now it's just a habit. It's like people are like, "This is pretty gay." I'm like, honestly, I just sit there and scroll my phone. So I kind of chill, honestly.
If you got to take a dump, you go ahead and dump. It just comes on
Makes
right on
me.
out.
I was gonna say I end up taking more dumps throughout the day for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, yeah. So I was telling you about the whole leg training thing when we hopped on,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something Colton and I decided to do at my request, right? Because my leg growth just outpaces my upper body, like just so bad
Your
that
wheels are nuts,
I
dude.
thanks, man. I think I just have really short femurs, so they just kind of it's like having short arms, you know, like the really short dudes they have the short runs and they just pack the muscle on. But oh yeah, I theorized I was like, I'm able to put so much into my leg training. I connect so well with my quads and hamstrings that I think I just completely tax myself on a leg day, whether I try to or not, and it just totally fucks off my recovery for any upper body training for the rest of the week. So
Yeah.
it's like all the nutrients, all the recovery goes to my legs, and I'm just done when I train for body. That was my theory, so we decided to try just not training legs in the rebound. And I mean, I grew, but it's still like at such a slow rate in my upper body.
Yeah. Dude, I did the something very similar actually. Once I started working with Andrew, he basically I don't have a back day now anymore. Same reason,
Your
like
back's fucking big.
my back is pretty, not to toot my own horn, but my back is pretty gnarly compared to the rest of me. I'm like, if I could get everything else to match my back, and I think it's just like you said, like I connect really well with it. I can just literally from rep one, it's like an effective rep that's breaking down tissue on any
Yeah,
movement, pretty
yeah,
much. It feels like. So I can get a ton out of nothing. So we've got it down. I do 6 working sets for back a week now, and that's it. And that's
what do you
just
do? What movement?
it is a seated wide grip cable row. So it's kind of like rowing real,
Upper
trying to
body.
get the upper traps and upper back in that. And then it's a narrow grip pull down and it's Kelso shrugs. 2 sets of each,
Okay,
15 to 20 rep range.
you like it. So you use the narrow grip for the pull down. You use like this one, right? I don't know what the fuck
Yeah,
it's called.
they've got that one. It's the ones that you can use without straps. They've got like I call them the fancy V
Mag,
bars, the mag grips. I think maybe they're called.
mag.
Yeah, I use. They've got one of those that's like super tiny, like it might be like 8 inches wide, and I'll use that for that
Yeah, and
narrow
it kind
grip.
of like supinates a little bit.
Yeah, and it almost feels like I'm doing a pullover in that old school Nautilus pullover because you can just keep it so much, keep your elbows so tight and tucked towards the front. It feels great,
Interesting. I've never even thought about approaching a narrow grip pull down like it was a pullover.
dude. Try that next time, and I swear to you, man, it's like I almost pretend that I am doing the pullover. Like I just keep my elbow or my hands and forearms fixed, and then it's just like the only thing that's moving is elbows
Oh
to hips,
wow.
essentially.
Okay. I actually use that grip, but I don't use it pronated or supinated. I'll do it like pronated like that, and I'll do pullovers with a cable with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea too.
It's pretty fire.
I like
But
doing
I
those with
think
the easy curl bar. I've been doing those if I do pullovers. I used to do it always with the
same
rope,
thing.
and then I started doing it with the bar, and you can just lay your arms up there and just literally you're just pulling with all lat. It feels great.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the mag. I'll do that. My go-to is usually a V grip or the easy bar, which is like the same shit. And I just get a narrow ass grip like that. And it's money.
Yeah,
But
that's
I was
great.
gonna say, I think that the most successful training and what we think is like our genetically gifted parts, like for me, my legs or whatever, you, your back. I think it's just the muscle that you can get the hardest, most effective contraction with. I was
Yeah,
sitting there doing quad extensions today, and it was like from rep one, I was like, bro, this is absolutely brutal. Like how hard I can flex my quads on these, right? Same with seated hamstring curls, and I was like, that's probably why my progress here just outpaces everything. Because when I'm doing anything upper body, and I've gotten okay with training back, but like any pressing for the chest, any like even curls, bro, like bicep curls, I can't get that rock hard contraction. I gotta rely on like getting a pump, and like once the pump's there, I can kind of connect better. It sucks, bro, and I think it's gonna take a lot more volume. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take.
I
Time,
found
obviously.
I found myself. I'm the same, dude. Like back, I'm great. Even I would say I connect okay with my legs pretty well, like quads maybe, quads and ham curls, but like not so much in a squatting pattern, more like a leg extension and stuff like that. But then when it comes to like pressing, shoulders and stuff like that, any chest pressing, lateral raises, it feels like the first like 5 to 6 reps, maybe even more. I'm almost finding it. It's like I'm finding my connection, and then I'm finally connected, and then it's like, all right, the last half of the set, I'm actually, I'm still taking it to failure, but it's like with back training and even some leg movements, like I said, and like you were saying, from rep one, it's almost like I'm locked in, I'm fully connected. I know I'm like locked and loaded breaking down tissue from rep one, where say I'm doing like an incline dumbbell, it's almost like the first 2 or 3 might be kind of squirrely, not the best technique, I don't feel quite locked in, and then I start like as the set it moves on, I'm connecting better and better. So maybe like you said, maybe just more volume, more reps, higher rep sets, stuff like that could definitely help.
I like the high rep. I like the high rep thing for body parts you don't connect with. And I'm just gonna basically piggyback on exactly what you said. I don't. I think if you have a body part you struggle with, doing like the 5 to 8, rep ranges is literally pointless. Because what are you gonna do? Like connect well in the last 2 reps?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like it's pointless, right? Like I'd rather do a 15 rep set and get like 7 or 8 like really good reps in that set, even if I had to burn some gas on the first 7 or 8. I'm gonna get way more out of that than I ever would, trying a set of 5, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, that being said, I'll do a set of like 7 or 8 on hamstring curls all day. And like, I'll totally be able to get, you know, so I'll get a good result from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, not for chest pressing or anything else.
Yeah, and your hams are nuts, dude. So yeah, there's something to be said for
Thank
that
you.
for sure. Like it's where you connect well with. Maybe you can train in that lower rep range, and then where we're not connecting as well, maybe that's where we should have those higher rep sets, and that'd probably honestly save us on like the fatigue side too, for sure.
Yeah, I wonder how much that's like overstated, even though it's just ranting about it for my legs, because that was what I thought was, stopping my upper body from growing was the fatigue. But I think, a piece of the puzzle I left out from that is I had undiagnosed sleep apnea. And since then, dude, I've been on a CPAP for 6 months now.
Life changing, isn't it?
Oh my god, dude. Every single person says it's life changing, and it's like, how could it possibly be? But once you're on it for a couple months, and like, I haven't felt tired during the day,
Yep.
like,
And
it's insane, dude.
it makes, like, say you had a night where you could only get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. That 4 hours that you do get, as long as you have your mask on the whole time, dude, you're getting like the what you used to get out of like 8 or 9 hours, you're now getting out of like four because you're getting so oxygenated while you're sleeping because your breathing is just so perfect.
It's so nice. What mask do you use? I heard Anson just saying on his, like, he was like, oh, I gotta use my CPAP more. And in my mind, I was just like, bro, you are leaving so much on the table by not using. You got to get the mask that works for you.
Yeah, I tried what he's got, and I ran into the same thing. I was using the full face, and when
I
that
hate that.
thing sealed around everything, I'm just claustrophobic. I guess I couldn't even calm myself down to like breathe for like a minute or two on it. But then I got the nose pillows, and dude, life changing. I can throw those in,
Oh my
and I can just lay there and scroll on my phone or lay there and read my book, whatever I'm doing to like unwind for a second. And I got them in just chilling. I can talk a little bit and stuff. Like it's no big deal.
it's my favorite PDD is the CPAP.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That thing, it goes
It's
everywhere with me, man. It does not leave. If I go out of town, that thing is in the car coming with us.
so funny, bro. Like, I have family members like, why do you take that? I'm like, I'm not gonna get one night's ass sleep while I'm out on vacation. I feel like crap the next day. Yeah, I'm bringing the CPAP, dude.
Yeah,
The,
100%.
the nasal pillows, bro. I was using the full face for the first like 3 weeks, and I get really itchy around my nose when I'm wearing it, and I have to take it off and like scratch my nose in the middle of the night. It's a nightmare. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to just breathe out of my nose only while I'm sleeping. But an older head that's a bodybuilder convinced me to try it, and dude, even if I go to bed completely congested in one nostril, which happens like most nights, I can fall asleep just breathing out of one nostril, and when I wake up in the middle of the night, my air passages are completely clear. It like the air pushing through my nose completely clears me out.
That's
It's
one
pretty
thing
crazy.
I love about it. Like when, especially this time of year, it's cold and everyone's getting sick. You're most of the time you're congested, like 70% of the time during the winter anyway. But like you said, I'll throw those in, and it's like the humidifier that's in there built into it, plus the air. It's just everything feels so much fresher when you wake up. You can actually breathe. All that congestion's cleared up. Yeah, it's fucking great, man.
Yeah, it's a trip that how it clears you out like that. I heard someone saying like, they're like, I think it was Sean Kreiner. He was like, yeah, dude, I crave it every night when I go to bed. I crave my. And I was like, that's great, bro. I 100% get that now. Like,
Yeah, because you'll lay there and you're
it's
like
unlocked.
laying. You might get comfortable in your bed and not have it in yet, and you're like you're breathing and you just feel yourself not breathing that good. You're like, all right, man, I can't wait to put the mask on and just like fully be able to relax and chill.
Yeah, I fell asleep like recently. I took a little nap with my wife on the bed, and I woke up after maybe 20 minutes, just completely like a zombie, bro. Fucking drool all over the place. And she said I was just snoring like crazy. I was like, bro, like middle of the day, a little 20-minute nap, and yeah, that was me all night for a couple years.
Yeah,
And it got really bad in my rebound. And she was like, because the sleep apnea for me went away in prep when I got lighter.
I've
So your
noticed
body
that
weight
too. If I'm
changes.
not as heavy, it's not. I can honestly get away with sleeping without my mask if I'm not as heavy.
Yeah, and just sleeping less in general for whatever reason. I don't know why,
Yeah.
or if that's just the cleanse making us think that. But yeah, as soon as my body weight like at like a certain point, for me it's like 185, which is a lot. But as soon as it hits that, like I'm just doing all that stop breathing.
Yeah,
Fucking crazy, dude. I used to fall asleep in traffic in my car all the time.
that's the worst, man. That's where I that's what made me honestly really like get one and figure out how to get one because I'm still actually on a sleep study wait list as of
Oh, really? You bought one on
yeah,
Facebook?
I just bought one, dude. I went on what's the website called? It's like CPAP Exchange or something, and you can get like the prescription written for you online and stuff, and then get one right there. So I did that, and dude, for the same reason that I'd be driving and just like dozing off, hitting the little speed bumps on the side of the road and shit, like the little, you know what I'm talking about? They like wake you up.
Yeah,
That's what they're there for. I'd always run into
yeah,
the rumble strip or whatever and be like, oh shit, wake up and sitting at traffic lights, just sitting there dozing off. And dude, the most I drive is like maybe a 30-minute commute here and there from my house to like a job site or to the gym or something. I'm like, there's no way in 30 minutes I should be falling asleep.
yeah. Or like anytime you sit and watch TV, you just fall asleep.
Yeah, put a
Anytime you
movie
sit
on,
down,
you don't even see the first 5 minutes, you're out.
yeah, that was my whole life, bro. I would eat my pre-workout meal on the way home from work, and it'd be like 100 grams of carbs or whatever. And as soon as that starts digesting, I'm like comatose, dude, like nodding out and shit. So when I had a sleep study done in 2024 at some point, and they told me my sleep apnea was really mild. They said just lifestyle changes, and I was having all these symptoms. So in my mind, I was like, oh, probably just the GH making me super tired, right? I just taking a lot of GH, whatever. CPAP ain't gonna do shit. But I didn't get it. I got it in 2025 when my during when I was just saying because my wife was complaining about it to me, and dude, this totally changed everything, man. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't I do this sooner,
Yeah,
bro?
dude.
Why?
I don't understand why they're not like the healthcare system isn't as big on like notifying people when they have it because now that I've got it, I'm like more aware of all the things to look for, and I actually
Mm-hmm.
um, just got intrigued by it. I've like looked into like how to figure out if your kids have it and stuff like that. Um, so like now I pay attention to my things my daughter's doing, and I'm like, man, it's because it can be hereditary, just like running the
Yeah,
family, just the way your nasal passages are designed and stuff. She's got a lot of the symptoms of having it already. So I'm like, I wonder how long through my life I actually had it and just you're young and you just kind of get by because you're a kid, nobody really pays attention to it. And then now we're so on top of our
yeah,
health because we're getting labs done all the time where, we want to get the most sleep. So we're like, all right, we're figuring it out ourselves essentially. We would probably still never know if we weren't bodybuilding. So I don't know why
yeah.
they aren't bringing more awareness to that to, notify people, hey man, you probably
Shame.
got sleep apnea.
Yeah, and it kills you like
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah, it's like a slow
So
burner
it's
for sure. You're gonna eventually it's
yeah,
gonna fuck
you're
you up in the long run.
killing your brain cells. You know what I mean? Your brain is just starving of oxygen every night. And you know what's funny? All it took for me to get the CPAP, like, because I had, like I said, done the sleep study. All I had to do was follow up to get it at whatever point I wanted to, because they'd offered it to me, the
Yeah.
CPAP, but they're like, just make lifestyle changes anyway. I did a check in with, he was like, and I said, hey, my wife's telling me I'm snoring really bad. Probably got, sleep apnea. And he's like, the whole check in was him convincing me to get a CPAP. And so he's all, bro, you're gonna unlock a whole new level of games if you get this CPAP. You're gonna be able to recover better. And that's all I needed to hear. I was like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yep. That was me too. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I could get way leaner just from sleeping more because I was still in my fat boy stage at that point. So I was like, all right, this is gonna totally help catapult me. And to be honest with you, I gotta say, man, since I've done that, things. I mean, yes, I've been progressing through other ways as well, but I gotta attribute some of the gains to that for sure. Just actually being able to
Yeah.
sleep now.
Did so this last both preps you've had your CPAP then?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay, so you don't have a baseline of not having a CPAP and prep to compare to then, huh?
No, other than they weren't preps, but we basically did hard. mock preps, I guess you could say, when I first started working with Colton, because we would throw in the
Uh-huh.
clean and the trend and all that and get like as lean as I could get. And I didn't have it then when I first started working with him. And then he kind of the same thing suggested. He was like, "Hey man, I think you probably got sleep apnea." And then obviously my girl told me the same thing, just sleeping beside her all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, "Dude, you're freaking snoring, you're sleepwalking, all this shit. You need to like get
Oh,
this
would you
sorted out."
sleepwalk too?
Oh, dude, it was bad when I first started working with Colton, man. Um, yeah, I would
Would you
like get up in
sleepwalk?
the middle of the night and sleepwalk to the kitchen. And one night, dude, I had this is no bullshit. This is the craziest story. I had a jug of windshield wiper fluid sitting on our counter in the kitchen because I had just bought it to put in the car, but I brought it in with the groceries. So I was like, all right, I'll take it out tomorrow when I go out. Well, I'd been drinking like blue drink mix in my waters. So I walk out there half asleep. I'm sleepwalking, grab the windshield wiper fluid and start chugging it down, dude. And this is like a gallon of windshield wiper fluid. Took like 4 or 5, maybe 6 big like gulps, dude. Drank like a good quarter of this gallon jug before I actually woke up and came to and realized I was drinking windshield wiper fluid. Yeah, man.
Did
It
you
was
throw it up?
crazy shit like that. Or I would just like freaking um, grab like a protein powder tub and a spoon and like be in the kitchen just like whipping up concoctions. And I would never actually eat anything. It'd be like I'd be in there
Really?
hungry and my brain would just be like sleepwalking trying to get food. It was the weirdest shit happening, man. And I swear it's got to be like the apnea tied into dieting hard and all those just like fight or flight hormones going on and stuff. It was an interesting time, man.
My wife has named my alter ego Sleepy Sean because, bro, I am in the kitchen every night and I'll eat shit and not even remember. I'll wake up and see it's always cereal or some shit. I'll see cereal bowl and like
Yeah.
I'll wake up and I'll realize it in the morning. So I won't even be like aware half of the time. Like I am, you know,
Uh huh.
but it's like maybe 10% aware.
Yeah, it's
And
like
like my whole like
your body
not
your
able to rationalize.
yeah, it's like your consciousness isn't on. It's just like you're there to experience it, but like you're not making the decision.
Yeah, like I would never like you're dieting or whatever. Like you know you're not supposed to be doing it, but you have like no inhibition when you're in that like state, right? So you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have fucking and then you wake up and see the damage next day. You're like, oh shit.
Yep. Dude, I did that. To be honest with you, I did that a lot when I first started working with him. And I think it was just like I had never dieted like that before. Like actually went that low
Yeah,
in carbohydrates and stuff. Other than when I first started
same.
my fitness journey, I did like super strict keto. Or I wouldn't even call it keto. I would call it protein only, like basically protein fasted.
Right.
But there comes a point in that, and I didn't have that much muscle at that point. So like you're not getting that hungry when you're slamming a ton of protein. And then also you don't have as much I didn't have as much muscle at that point. So it's like there's not a metabolic demand there that you're creating as much from training hard and shit. But then as I got bigger and started working with him, man, I noticed the same shit, dude. It would just be like at night. I could be to a T nailing the plan all day, 100%. And then it'd be like at night for some reason all those little instincts would kick in when I was asleep, and I'd wake up in the kitchen, cereal in the floor, freaking just random concoctions, dude. Honey, I would literally like drink a swig of honey, just crazy shit.
Yeah, that's no, I think it's the drug addict in us, to be honest.
Gotta be, it's something, man. It's gotta be. Uh, I will say though, since the since the Reddit came in though, I haven't ever done that again. Like since I've been on that, I
Uh,
maybe that's played a huge part in it as well.
I was doing that on Reddit all day.
You still were running into that?
Yeah,
Oh
the
shit.
Reddit for me though, it is not like once that initial appetite suppression that it gives you when you first start taking it wore off, it never did that to me again. So I played with it that one time before Thanksgiving this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's in my system for a while, there's no appetite suppression whatsoever going on.
Yeah.
It's like we were saying earlier, comparing it to Lantis. That's probably the best way to describe what it does. It's like 80 Lantis. That's something that keeps you leaner.
Yeah, 100%, man. I would definitely agree
I
with
mean, I
that.
love Lantis, but not
It's a love hate. I love the
every day.
pumps. I hate how I look though every time. Like as soon as it
Yeah,
goes in, I
like
just look watery.
yeah, just make your face all fat and shit
Yeah,
and puffy. Yeah, I think for me though, it's a necessary evil when I'm trying to push up body weight, to new territories. And my calorie demand, especially for how small I am, man. Like Colton told me, he said, "You're like the smallest dude I've ever seen that eats this much food. It's insane." I don't know what that is. I call it just like maybe being inefficient with partitioning nutrients. I don't know. Maybe it's my job being in construction, but like I gotta really push my weight up to new territories and like live there in
yeah,
order for tissue to stick. And it makes getting lean a lot harder because you put on unnecessary fat when you do that.
yeah, yeah. I would
But
say, um, would you say that that helps you more like from a hunger perspective, like it drives up hunger enough to keep you wanting to eat the food, or it
it
just from like a
does.
blood sugar control perspective?
It's everything. It's I'm playing with it again right now, and the reason I decided to play with it was because hunger started dipping, but T Force kind of remedied that, as I was saying. Um, but I think when Colton deployed it for blood sugar control when we decided to use it. But I noticed that it helps with hunger a lot because your blood glucose goes back into range and you're ready to eat. When your blood sugar is super high, you're not really wanting to eat 400 grams of rice with 6 ounces of chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah, I think to directly answer your question, why I'm using it right now is for all those reasons. But mostly, it's to like get my body weight up to a certain point, marinate in it, live there, and hope that the tissue like sticks by some fucking bro science magic. I don't know.
are you doing it every day right now?
So I'm doing like 3 days a week
Okay, I
on
was
like all
gonna.
my priority like body parts. So like I have an upper day, I have a push day, and an arm day that I'm using it on. My back day and my leg day, or my full day and my leg day, I'm not using it.
Got you. Nice. Okay, I've been actually doing something very similar to that. The past 2 weeks, I've done it very sporadically. I've just done it on leg days, but I've done pre-workout Lantus and post-workout Lantus and rapid insulin, just on leg days because I found for some reason on leg days, I guess maybe because you're just training so hard, but my hunger goes way down on that day specifically.
Bro, I was just having this conversation with my boy in the gym.
I don't under, but then like the day after, I'm ravenous, and the day before, I'm like
Yeah,
ravenous and can eat all my food. But once I smash my legs and actually complete that training session, something about hunger is just maybe it's the liver enzymes get so elevated that that hunger signaling's knocked
no,
down a little bit. But that's kind of been my
I
most
had a
recent
thought about
theory.
that too. My theory was just like central nervous system being jacked up,
Yeah,
like being in like a fight or flight type of like uh, what is it, parasympathetic, sympathetic state, whatever the fuck one it is. I don't know which is which, but
yeah.
all that output driving driving up all the cortisol and shit. Because after I train legs too, I'm not hungry for like a couple hours at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've noticed the
And
same
that's
thing, man. It's like 2 3 hours. I if I didn't wasn't telling myself you need to get this nutrients in, like, and I just went off of hunger signaling, I could probably go 2 3 maybe 4 hours before I actually felt like,
yeah.
hey, it's time to eat something. It's weird, man, how that
I mean,
works.
you just trashed half the muscles in your body. So your theory about the liver enzyme thing, your body's metabolizing all that ALT and AST and all that waste, protein waste and shit. It could be that too, bro.
Yeah, that was my
Honestly,
most recent little theory on it. I was like, maybe, just maybe, it is just like acute enough of elevation where that's why you kind of get that hunger blunting for a couple hours until it kind of
it's funny because
starts
I was talking.
processing all that protein broken down.
It could be that. I like either theory. I was talking to like three people about this, right? And I was talking to like a pro, and I was talking to like another guy who's like 250, big dude, and his girlfriend who does wellness, right?
Uh-huh.
Wellness girl says, I can eat. I'm more hungry on my leg days. And in my mind, I was like, you can't push as hard as we can, you know? Like, this is the big boys. No,
Yeah.
like, we can exert ourselves a lot harder and lift a lot heavier weight, right?
Yeah.
And the two guys were both like, yeah. So there's something about that.
It's
With
got
that.
it's got to be, man, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting, and that's true. Like they can't. I